Hello, Jawaafians. We're here today to conduct the IELTS speaking mock test, and we have with us Sam. He's also known as Samuel, and he's going to be participating here. What we're going to teach you is how a person gives an answer and what we should do to improve the answer levels. So, welcome, Sam. Thank you for participating. So, Sam, in the traditional IELTS exam, you will be asked to state your name, which is,
Yeah, my name is Samuel Rana.
and what is your preferred name?
You can call me Rana.
Okay. So, Rana, in the IELTS test, you would need to present a proof of identification. So, in this case, since it's a mock test, we do not need it. So, we're going to start with the topic of patience and politeness. What do you think patience is?
Well, if I say the patient is needed, every person, because when we are calm, we'll do our work in a better way. So it is important to us.
Thank you. Do you think patience is important?
Yeah, I already mentioned that it is very important for us because when we are in a calm or we are in patient, we will think more and that help us to do our work better.
Do you think you're a patient person?
Uh, I'm not that much in a patient because whenever I feel for example, I'm waiting somewhere and the time was going too much and I feel very angry at the time. So I'm not thinking that I'm the patient kind of person.
Have you ever lost your patience?
Um, in past, when I visit hospital, at that time I wait like 1 hour. So that time I feel very angry, and that was the moment I feel very angry.
Okay. Now, coming to the topic of politeness. Are you a polite person?
uh, I think I am little bit polite because whenever I talk to the persons, they said me, you are too calm and politeness in your way of you are speaking the word. So I think that
Who taught you to be a polite person?
one of my friend whose name is Jivan, and he always said me that you are too polite person because whenever we talk each other, I just help him out with the problem, getting out of the problem.
Is it important to be polite?
Uh, yes, I'm thinking that people should be polite because whenever they are being polite, they talk to person calmly, and if the person will talk smile and calmly, they feel very happy and excited to do their work. So whenever we should be in a polite way, people will help us.
Okay. What do you do if others are not polite to you?
I think people will not polite in me, then I feel also be very angry because at that time will feel very bad and the word coming of our mouth will be some vulgar word.
Okay. Thank you. Now, let's jump into the topic of part two.
Yeah.
Okay. This is your question. You have 1 minute of preparation, and you have a pen over here in front of you. You can make
Thank you.
notes. You need to speak for at least 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, so Rana, your time's up.
So I love to do hiking, and I just go for with my friend for hiking, and we travel I think next year we'll go for the hiking of the Annapurna mountain, and we'll plan for that. And one of my best friend Jivan and me going for there, and we plan for getting like 1 or 2 days we will stay there and cook some food, and we'll feel very refreshment.
That's
question
okay.
was too. I don't know. The question was too hard or something because there is something healthy to enjoy.
Yes. So
Uh,
the question says, describe something healthy
yeah,
you enjoy doing. So
and
healthy
it's
could even be something that you like to
spend some time
swimming,
vacation, swimming, vacation,
gymming,
yeah, hiking.
hiking, trekking. So these are all something that you enjoy doing, or maybe it could be as simple as something, uh, making a small change in your diet routine, waking up early, going for a jog. So that's what the question was basically asking. Okay.
The question was too tricky
Okay.
because of this healthy.
So now coming to the part three, what are the types of foods that people eat in your country?
Uh, Most of all, in my country, people are eating like dal and bhat. That's called rice, and that's same word I
You
think
need
in
to
English
edit
also.
this really.
English also
Okay,
dal.
so rice
Okay,
and lentils.
okay, lentil.
Lentils is called dal.
Okay,
Okay, so coming to part three, this is a discussion type question. The topic over here is related to part two, healthy. So we're talking about the topic of food. What are the types of food that people eat in your country?
I think most of the people eat in my country momo. They like too much because it's filled with the meat inside.
Okay, and what about foreign foods? What kind of foreign foods are popular in your country?
Uh, the foreign food popular in my country is burger and pizza. So people are nowadays enjoying a lot of eating that food.
In your country, is it important to have a meal together with your family?
In my country, everybody is living in like joint family. So people are gathering in the evening and or in the morning also, and they will eat in the same time.
Is food now better than in the past?
I think nowadays people are eating more fast food and it's not being that much healthy because in the past people are eating organic food. They uh, um, farm in their own agriculture field. They produce on their own agriculture field. Sorry.
Thank you. Well, that's the end of it today.
Yeah.
Samuel, thank you for your participation.
Oh my God.
So, hello, Jawaafians. Welcome back again. If you've been part of this test, you can see that Samuel did struggle through a bit of his questions. That's okay because this is his very first time that he was attempting the test, and it's the first time that he actually went through the entire test in one go. So, thanks, Samuel, again for this participation, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for trying it even though you doing it the first time. Now, coming to the feedback in the speaking test, you can see that Samuel struggled through a few bits where it came to content. Now, if you ever face a challenge where you're struggling to come up with ideas, it's always better to try to make up a story in the sense that you should always be able to speak at length because one of the factors of the speaking test is says fluency and coherence. So you should be able to speak at length. Now, Samuel, what I noticed throughout your speaking was you were not paraphrasing the question so much. There was a lack of vocabulary in your speaking. You were using very simple sentences. So we really need to work on the sentence structure as well as the pronunciation of certain words and also the grammatical range and accuracy as well. Now, the very first question I said asked you was, "What do you think of what do you think patience is?" You said, "If I say the patience is." Now, in this case, you should have mentioned something like, "In my opinion, I feel that patience is a virtue that is really gained." That's how I would have been addressing the question. Then the next question I said, "Do you think patience is important?" You began answering the question by "Yeah." Yeah, I already mentioned. So we always try to speak as much as formal language as we can. So it would have been yes, as I mentioned earlier. Uh, and then you said when we are in a patient. So instead of when we are in a patient, you should have said when we are patient instead of when we are in a patient. In this term, it was a grammatical error. Then the next question was, do you think you are a patient person? You answered by saying, I am not that much impatient. So you should have answered, in my view, I feel I'm not a very patient person. Then you tried to support it by giving an example by saying that when things take a certain time, but the language that you used was time was not going. So you meant to say that it was taking a certain time for a task to be completed, and that's the time you lost patience. So in this case, I would have said, uh, when things are delayed and are not happening at a right pace, these are instances where I lose patience and I tend to be impatient at this time.
Okay.
Then the next question was, have you ever lost your patience? You started in past. In this case, it would have been in the past, or when a couple of years ago, when I visited a hospital. In this term, you said when I visit a hospital, when the tense was about the past. So you should have said when I visited a hospital. Okay. Then the next topic was about politeness. So the question was, are you a polite person? To the persons and politeness. So you said, you meant to say, I am polite to people. Person is singular, people is plural, and politeness and speaking a word. So you said, you meant to say that I generally tend to be a polite person, and I like to speak politely to people. So I think the content was a little off in this case. Who taught you to be polite was the next question. So you were trying to give an example of your friend, how he taught you to be a polite person. So you said one of my friend. So in this case, it should have been one of my friends, because you're talking about a circle of friends and one of them. So it should have been one of my friends instead of one of my friend. Then could you pronounce the word person?
Person.
Person. So over here, it's not a sh sound, it's a s sound. So it should be person instead of Persian. Okay. We talk each other or we talk to each other.
We talk to each
A
other.
great job. So then the next question was, is it important to be polite? You started with, yes, I'm thinking. So you should say, yes, I think I am, it's important to be polite. Then you said to talk to person calmly. So it should have been, while talking to people, we should be calm. Smile and calmly. So be cheerful. Instead of smile and calmly, I would say be cheerful and be patient. Whenever we should be in a polite way, this was the error that you said. So you mean to say in every situation, we should be polite to others. So I think that's what we were trying to say. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Samuel. So what do you think? The next question was, what do you do if others are not polite to you? You said, whenever the people not polite in me. Over here, the prepositional error in, they're not polite to me.
To me.
In this case, you said, I get angry and use some vulgar words. So you could try to increase the vocabulary range over here by saying, I get frustrated and it upsets me and I do not feel the best. Okay, you could have kind of used a different word for angry by saying frustrated or irritated or irate. These are some of the words that you could have gone with. And avoid using vulgar words. You could say something, I also react by being rude to them. Okay. So yes, then coming to part two, I think you really missed the question, what it was basically asking. So the question basically asks, describe something healthy you enjoy doing. You should say what you do, where you do it, and who you do it with, and explain why you think doing this is healthy. So I think you got a little confused between enjoy doing and healthy,
Yeah.
and you went with the topic of hiking. Now you could have related it. You could have still spoken about it because it's a healthy choice as well. You could have mentioned that how often you go hiking. You could say every weekend we kind of go hiking, and I usually go hiking with my friend. But I think you got confused, and then you started to stress during the question two, and that's where I could see a lot of mishaps happening during his speaking. So even in the real test, if you feel that you've kind of gone around the topic instead of addressing it, I would still say do not stress, keep calm, and try to get back onto the topic. Okay. So right now I'm just focusing on the grammatical errors that you made instead of the contextual one. So instead of do a hiking, we go hiking.
Okay.
I go for with hiking. You said I go for with my hiking. So you should say I go hiking with my friend. Then you talked about planning a trip to Mount Annapurna. So you said I'm going hiking off the Mount Annapurna. So I plan to hike the trail of Mount Annapurna. So you then said my friend Jivan and me. So in this case, it would have been Jivan and myself, or Jivan and I would have been a better appropriate answer. For getting 1 2 days stay there. So you meant to say that you're planning a trip for a hiking trip that you're going to Annapurna, and you're trying to spend at least
Two
a
days.
day or two over there. Okay, so in this case, the grammatical range was missing. So you should have said something like, we are planning to spend 1 or 2 days there to relax and to rejuvenate. Rejuvenate means to re-energize our energy levels. So, and we feel a lot of refreshment. So I think after hiking, we would want to come back feeling refreshed and rejuvenated or invigorated. These are some of the words that you could have used in your vocabulary and lexical resource. Now, coming to topic 3, it said, what are the types of food that people eat in your country? Then you said people eat in my country. So word order over here, people in my country eat. It should have been the correct structure of the sentence. What about foreign foods? What kind of foreign foods are popular in your country? You said, could you say the word Pizza?
P I double
Pizza.
pizza.
Not pizza, it's pizza. So it's a little bit of a ter sound, pizza, in speaking English. So you could have related this answer to a lot of foods that are readily available right now, maybe like burgers. You said burgers, but you could have mentioned, like, by giving details. An example, usually people go to Darbar Mag and KKFC or KFC, and they like to try burgers over there, or Basantapur for trying out bubble tea and stuff like that. Then you said enjoying a lot of eating that food. So people enjoy eating that kind of food. In your country, is it important to have a meal together with your family? Then you said people are gathering. So, not people are gathering. Gathering in this term would not be a really appropriate word. So, during the evenings, we all try to spend time with each other. And one of the ways we do this is by enjoying a meal together. And usually, this is the most important meal of the day because we get to spend it as a family. You could have related that by giving examples. And then you said, and eat in a same time. Eat at the same time instead of same time. Then the next question was, is food better now than in the past? So you said something like not being that much healthy. You said relating it to the food, about junk food available these days. So you could have said it was a good try in terms of content. You should have basically gone with the strategy of saying that yes, nowadays you can see a lot of junk food prevalent everywhere. It's readily available due to people wanting different options. And junk food is not the best option to have because it can cause obesity and a lot of health reasons. Whereas now recent I'm using the word whereas in this case is because I'm doing a comparison. So
Okay.
whereas in the past people were much more healthier because of the availability of organic food, and there were less chemicals in the food, and that's the reason why people were much healthier and lived to a longer age than in comparison to
No.
now. Okay. Now, you also gave a very good example why people were healthy by saying that they were farm to table. So basically, whatever they produced, they were eating. So you said produce in their own field. So you mean to say what they cultivated. So instead of produce, I would have used the word vegetables that have been cultivated in their own fields. And that's the reason why they were much more healthier. But great try, Samuel. Really appreciate your confidence and trying, even though this is the first time. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you, Samuel, again for participating. So if I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and saw like what a basic mock test looks like with us. So if you're looking for more tips and tricks and more detailed answers and how do we extend our answers by giving more relevant examples, please do visit us. We are known as Jawaaf and we're located in New Plaza, and that's in Putalishadak. Give us a call in the numbers below. Thank you.